Okay, right, so I'll start this off with saying, right, excuse the mess of everything. It's like a big temporary job that's just added on to whatever. Right, and this is a trial, so forget about the fact that it's a mess there. There'll be a time it'll be in a box and everything. This small pump here, it's a great little pump. It sends the water. You can use it with a, it's a 240 volt pump. You could use it on the inverter because it's not got a big spike to it when it starts up. It's good flow. So you can use it on the inverter when you've got a power cut or something like that, rather than using a great big pump like this with a capacitor on it and everything, right? Now, the problem about this pump is, right, it doesn't develop enough pressure. It does develop just enough, but just not enough every time. It's not reliable because it's got a small impeller inside this little well here, right? And so the pressure switch, or switching it on and off with the pressure switch, that the pressure rises, and then when you close the tap inside, the pressure rises so high that it then goes higher than the pressure switch cut off pressure. It turns off, switch opens, and that's it. Then someone opens the tap inside or whatever, and then the pressure drops, and then the switch switches and then turns the pump on, and then it delivers pressure until someone closes it again, the pressure rises, and then breaks the pressure switch. It works like it's a pump down system, right? This one won't work with that. It's not reliable, right? So it has to be a switch on, switch off. But the thing is, with switch on, switch off, you forget to switch it off. Happens all the time. I'm the biggest culprit, right? Now it has got a flow switch. This is how it works. It's got a flow switch, right? Which I'm not utilising. The idea of the flow switch is that if you've got a supply from your street and it doesn't matter how low, as long as it's enough to make the flow switch inside it, the reed go forward, it will allow the pump to run. So that's your safety. If there is water going through it, and then if you close the tap inside, if you close the outlet inside, the flow's going to stop, even if there is pressure coming from the street. But then it's going to stop that flow, and then that switch in there is going to close, or rather going to open, right? And then it will save the pump from running. Right, now this pump says it's thermally connected on everywhere you can buy this pump on Lassadar website. It's thermally protected. It's not. I've burnt one out already, and this one, how this hasn't burned out, I don't know, because I've left it running before for hours and come back and it's red hot, nearly melted. Well, it's in a very bad condition due to it, but it still works. And it's not down to earth because I've touched it before, and it's and I've earthed it as well. I've got an earth to it. There's an earth. I've earthed the actual thing. I've earthed that screw into the body of that, and it's come through. You could say it's not earth because no, it is. Because there's a rubber washer in there. It gets it across there. That's okay. That's earth. Right. And so what I've done, I've put a switch inside to switch it on. But then what I've got is a timer, right? Okay. So this timer is a delay on timer. Right, but the problem is, so what I've got, it's a delay on timer. What I do is when I switch the switch inside, I switch everything off to the timer goes off as well. Because if you don't do that, it starts doing strange things, right? So let's switch the power on. So it's running now. Right now, it's got two lights on. Right, because what's happened is that I set the time very low. I've set the time very low, right? And what I've got two feeds out. This timer feeds two items, right? It feeds the pump, right? Which the pump, as soon as you switch the switch on inside that room, inside there, the toilet, the pump is told the pump will run, right? But then after the delay, whichever you set it to, which I'll set it about 5 minutes, or even 3 minutes, the pump will stop, right? The pump will stop, and what it'll do, it'll then start bleeping the bleeper, right? Which is the other feed. It either does the pump or so when it starts up, the pump's allowed to run, and then after a certain amount of time that you set, the buzzer will run, right? So the idea is you've got to try and beat the buzzer, right? And the way that you stop the buzzer is you turn off the switch inside, and the switch turns off the feed to the whole system. The switch inside isolates the power to the whole system. So when you switch the switch again later, right, again, it switches everything off and it starts again. Right? So we'll go and do that now, and we'll do a we'll do a first test. Had some problems with this. Simple little problems, but and also the buzzer I thought about. I was wanting to put a buzzer on it, but I was like, how am I going to do that? I was going to put the buzzer on. Actually, well, not a buzzer, I was going to put a light on just on the pump. So people knew. So there was a pump, there was a light there flashing, right? So there was a light there flashing, right? Not flashing, sorry. I was going to use a light that didn't have a buzzer on it so that people could just see the pump was on. Right now, the pump's on because the switch is down, right? I've just killed the timer, right? Then, we'll put the let's put the shower on, right? So that's on there, right? That's allowed. I've opened it, but I've got to tell the pump to run. So we'll tell the pump to run. No, it's the pump's come on. So you've got some flow there. Yeah. Showers. Allowing it to come on. To close that. Yeah. This is what would happen. I can hear the pump running outside. If you close this now and forget to turn the pump off, because you can hear it, but it's very faint, right? Right. But there, what would happen? Yeah. So what's happened now is you can see there, that's died. The pump outside has lost its feed, and it's changed over now. It's decided to buzz the buzzer, so everybody would hear, and they go, buzzer's buzzing. Why is that? They'll be educated. You turn the pump off, right? When you turn it back on, right? The timer's just started the pump, right? And then after a certain amount of minutes, right, the pump will stop and go, and then but the contacts that will become live through the live power will be to the timer, right? Sorry, to the buzzer, right? And then people go, oh, pump's on. They come and then switch the thing off. Let's see for the sake of it. Sure, pass it and get down. There you go. So time pump's just yeah. It's pump stopped and the alarm's come on. Oh, how do we stop that? Well, we're going to turn it off, don't we? Beautiful. There we go. Right, sorted.